Please be seated. At this time, I'd like to introduce Dr. Patrick Batista, Educator of the Year, Mace Bear, who will officially open our ceremony.
University at Buffalo President Tripathi, Dean Zambon, Senator Young, and distinguished guests. The candidates for degrees and certificates, the faculty, staff, family, and friends of the candidates are all now assembled. I hereby declare the commencement exercises of the University of Buffalo School of Dental Medicine to be officially opened.
Good evening, or late afternoon. It's a distinct pleasure for me to welcome you to this graduation exercise. My name is Donald Antonsen, and I'm the Associate Dean for Academic Affairs, and I will serve as the herald for this ceremony. I personally want to welcome all of you to this 126th commencement of the School of Dental Medicine. Family members, especially graduates, you should sit back, relax. We haven't told you to do that for a while, student. Put a giant smile on your face. Look around this auditorium. Take it all in. This commencement will become one of your life's remembered events. So we congratulate you. Please rise for the national anthem being sung by Ashley Maciejewski, who is a member of the class of 2019. Everybody remove your caps. Please be seated. Thank you, Ashley. Not only does she have a great voice, but she's going to be a great dentist, too. It is a great honor for me at this time to introduce the Dean of the School of Dental Medicine, Dr. Joseph J. Zambon.
Welcome, everyone, to this, our School of Dental Medicine's 124th commencement, during which we will be conferring Doctor of Dental Surgery degrees, master's degrees, and advanced education certificates to over 150 students. We're all very glad that you are here with us today to celebrate our graduates' achievements and to recognize their hard work over the past few years. And for the first time, our ceremony is being live streamed. over the internet. So we want to welcome the friends and families who could not be here who are participating with us online. Now, please join me in welcoming the 15th president of the University at Buffalo, President Satish Tripathi.
Good evening. I would like to offer a warm welcome and a heartfelt thank you to the parents, family members, and friends joining us today. I also want to recognize our distinguished speaker, New York State Senator Kathy Yang. Welcome. Your graduates have come this far in no small part thanks to your thoughtful guidance and your steady support. And today we gather to recognize your graduates' achievements for the milestone it is and to celebrate the culmination of their hard work. With that, let me be among the first to wish the 2018 class of UB School of Dental Medicine congratulations. You have come a long way. Your journey to today has been marked by dedication and perhaps frustration, by study and self-reflection, by trial and error, and by more late nights than you may care to remember. Along the way, you embraced new modes of thinking. You debated issues from different angles. You transferred your classroom learning to real-world challenges. You found your purpose and you pursued your passion. Throughout this transformative process of enlightenment, you have gained priceless knowledge about your field of study and, just as important, about yourself. So if I asked you, class of 2018, to single out the most important aspect of your academic program that has brought your education to life, what would that be? Don't worry, this is not a test. But as you embark on the next phase of your life, it is a question worth pondering. Although it has been many years since I sat where you sit today, I would argue that our most profound learnings do not just take place in a lecture hall. We do not read them in a textbook or discover them inside a lab. They don't come to us out in the field. Truth be told, education cannot be captured in a single moment. It is ongoing, continuous, and constantly evolving. And with every stride we take, we seek a true understanding of respect given, and of respect earned. Respect, compassion, integrity, and justice are cornerstones of UB's guiding principles. We respect each other even when we have divergent life experiences. We respect those in our care by treating them compassionately. And we respect what we have learned by putting that precious knowledge to its best use, namely to address society's most pressing problems. Your UB education, truly the entire scope of your UB experience, has elevated your consciousness about the world around you. It has primed your sense of civic, professional, and ethical responsibility, values you will tap every day of your life. It has stoked your sense of purpose, indeed your sense of greater purpose. At the start of the academic year, we welcome to campus Malala Yousafzai, the education right activist who has earned respect the world over for her courage and her convictions. When Malala accepted the Nobel Peace Prize in 2014, she noted that progress and development were happening only in certain parts of the world. However, Malala said, there are many countries where millions suffer from a very old problem of war, poverty, and injustice. Malala continued in saying, let us become the first generation to decide to be the last that sees empty classrooms, lost childhoods, and wasted potentials. It is my sincerest hope that your UB education has provided you with the intellectual resources grounded in respect, compassion, integrity, and justice to do not only good things with your life, but to do great things with your life. Throughout your education, you have already done much in this regard. For instance, we have witnessed how you have conducted important research in biomaterials, increased access to quality oral health care among children and veterans, and treated all your patients not only with great care, but with great dignity and empathy. Your dedication here has set the stage for the rest of your life. It is your time to put your imprint on the world around you by contributing to the world around you. Class of 2018, I have every confidence that as you go out into the world, you will make it better, brighter place. We look forward to seeing the impact of all of your accomplishments. Congratulations on your great achievement and all best wishes for the road ahead. Thank you.
Thank you, President Tripathi. Now it's a pleasure and a privilege to introduce today's commencement speaker, New York State Senator Catherine Young. One of Western New York's fiercest advocates, and as chair of the Finance Committee, one of the state legislature's most powerful leaders, Senator Young represents the 57th District, which includes Chautauqua, Cattaraugus, and Allegheny counties, and half of Livingston County. She was first elected to the Senate in 2005 after serving in the State Assembly for several years. Increasing access to health care has been among Senator Young's top priorities, a commitment that has driven many significant achievements. She authored New York's landmark law establishing reimbursement for telehealth services. She has also fought to prevent hospital closures and strengthen the healthcare network across her rural district. A key part of those efforts has been her strong support of the School of Dental Medicine's Rural Dentistry Pilot Program and its mobile dental van. Senator Young saw that one of the greatest healthcare challenges in her region was lack of access to dental care for children. She also saw that our program represented tremendous potential to address this problem. That was in 2014, and the start of a valued partnership that has advanced our mission as well as the health of thousands of children. A tireless advocate, Senator Young has secured more than $1 million in state funding for this program over the past 4 years, helping it grow beyond our expectations. Her support has also spotlighted this innovative model of healthcare at a time when creative solutions have never been more critical. It is a true honor to have her with us today. Please welcome Senator Cathy Young.
Thank you, Dean Zambon, for that kind introduction, and I want to say personally, thank you so much for everything that you've done to make sure that our rural dentistry program is a success. And I also want to give special greetings to President Tripathi. He truly is a leader not only in Western New York, but across the entire state. And it's not just what he does here at the university, but also what he's done for the Western New York economy. So thank you so much for those steps forward. I also want to say that President Tripathi has great stamina and endurance because it's my understanding that this is his second commencement of the day. So he is truly committed to the cause. Thank you also to the distinguished members of the faculty, staff, administration, family members, guests, and the class of 2018. You can applaud for yourselves if you want. In fact, I think you should. You know, it truly is an honor and a privilege to be with you today, to recognize and to celebrate the accomplishments that you have achieved. First and foremost, I say to you, congratulations. Congratulations to the graduates of the UB Dental School on your remarkable achievement. You've attained an educational pinnacle that few people reach. Relish this moment. Congratulations to the faculty, staff, and administrators whose expertise, commitment, and personal investment in each student's success made today possible. And last, but certainly not least, congratulations to your families, your parents who have loved you, supported you, and encouraged you in this journey. Now, I know your parents, if you think about this today, you remember changing the diapers. You remember the 2 a.m. feedings. You remember nursing your children through the chicken pox or some other ailments. And I don't know about you, but all of a sudden, when my 3 children got into high school, my middle initials changed to ATM. So I'm sure you can relate to that too. But for your parents, today is one of the proudest moments in their lives. And graduates, please thank your families. They deserve it. Let's give them some applause. You know, actually, the road that you actually took to get to this moment was a long and difficult one. So difficult that you may have wondered at times, was it worth it? Believe me, it was. You are entering not only a noble profession, but a critical one. As stated by former U.S. Surgeon General C. Everett Koop, he said, quote, "You can't be healthy without good oral health." And in the last 15 years, a huge body of research has reinforced that statement. Poor oral health has been linked to heart disease, diabetes, complications during pregnancy, and even mental health issues. And you know this as graduates. And as we know, in centuries past, poor oral health was a leading cause of death and illness. Death from dental infections was so frequent in the 1600s in London, England, that teeth were continually listed as the 5th or 6th leading cause of death. Hippocrates attributed a case of arthritis being cured to the pulling of a tooth. George Washington, the father of our nation, is well known to have suffered from chronic pain and embarrassment from decay and loss of his teeth. So we have come a long way since then. Over the past 50 years, advances in research, education, and the dentistry profession have resulted in marked improvements in the nation's oral health. But there's further to go. A lack of dental care is still a problem in some regions of America, including communities just a few miles from where we are today. And that is my district, and I am so grateful and so happy and so proud of the partnership that I've had with the UB Dental School in establishing the rural dental program. Because in my area, in Chautauqua, Cattaraugus, Allegheny, and Livingston counties, we have wonderful communities. We have fantastic people, warm, willing to reach out a hand to people in need. But we also struggle in so many places with abject rural poverty, isolated communities. And this project that we have put together has truly, truly, truly made a difference. Chautauqua County, which is in my district, as I said, has the 3rd highest rate of childhood tooth decay in all of New York State. Think about that. These children are at a higher risk for oral diseases, infections, long-term health care problems, and impaired cognitive and social development. A scarcity of dentists in these rural communities and poverty has resulted in poor oral health for many residents that is similar to what was experienced in centuries gone by. And I have seen this firsthand. In my travels around my district, I have spoken with the heads of hospitals and emergency departments who have said it is not uncommon to see children and adults show up in the emergency rooms with serious oral infections that could have easily been prevented with basic dental health care. That is why I've been such an enthusiastic supporter of our rural health program and our mobile dental van. Bringing care directly to residents of these underserved areas is unquestionably the most effective means of delivering services to those in need, particularly children. And I want to thank each and every graduate here today for your contributions and work in the rural dentistry program. You have been on the front lines in delivering care to the children served by this program, and your expertise, your compassion, and dedication has helped make this program incredibly valuable and successful. I have made it a point to not only secure funding for the program, but to visit the van often to see you in action. I will never forget one child who came for help. The majority of her teeth were decayed. They were actually rotted to the gums, and nobody knew. She was suffering from a serious active infection. And by the way, this child was only 6 years old. Because she was able to get service at the dental van that day, she was able to receive treatment that potentially saved her life. That is just one story among countless others that underscore how critically important this initiative is. Thank you for every minute, if you've been on the dental van, that you have spent helping children, veterans, and others in need to receive dental care. Your actions improve their health and their quality of life. And that leads me to my first piece of advice as you embark on your professional journey, and that is, be of service. You are exceptional, unique individuals, and I have no doubt that your years of hard work and schooling will bring you the success that you deserve. But as one who has served my community and our state for several years, I can attest that choosing to live a life of service is one of the greatest paths to fulfillment. To me, service is our greatest duty and our greatest reward. I know that spark of service has been lit during your time here. The dean has shared with me that this class has been tremendously committed to outreach in places near and far. Your good works have touched the lives here at home, on the Seneca Nation territory, at community centers, schools, churches, and shelters here in Erie County. Your good works have touched the lives of rural residents in my district, as well as rural populations in remote regions of Appalachia, in Tennessee, in Virginia. Still others have brought their skills to distant places such as the Dominican Republic, Senegal, and to Syrian refugees in Greece. How profound is that? Service is clearly part of the educational DNA of this graduating class. Along with my heartfelt gratitude for your service, my message to you is to continue to be of service in some way. Even if you do not choose to make service your profession, make it a part of your life. You will never regret it. Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. put it this way. He said, "Everybody can be great because anyone can serve." I encourage each of you to continually ask yourself what Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. referred to as life's most persistent and urgent question. What am I doing for others? Each of you here today has already shown a wonderful dedication to service. As your life takes its inevitable twists and turns, and believe me, it will, I hope that you will continue to make time for others, not only for their sake, but your own. The second message is to be persistent. If service is the hallmark of life well lived, persistence is the fuel of the progress in character. Persistence made today possible. Your graduation is the culmination of years of grueling hard work, and you know this. It is a testament to your strength and to your discipline. I wish I could tell you the hard part is behind you, but I cannot. Struggles and setbacks are a part of life. But what I can tell you is to be persistent. Do not succumb, overcome. Consider the career path of one of my sources of inspiration, Abraham Lincoln. He was no stranger to failure. His total amount of formal education was less than 1 year. At the age of 7, he was forced to work to support his family. At 9, his mother died. At 22, he lost his job as a store clerk. At 23, he went into debt as a partner in a small store. Then in his first campaign for the state legislature, he finished 8 out of 13 candidates. In a campaign document, he stated that if he were to lose, he was too familiar with disappointments to be very much chagrined. In 1835, he was engaged to be married, but his sweetheart died and his heart was broken. Less than a year after that, he suffered a nervous breakdown. By age 35, he had been defeated twice for running for Congress, and at 39, following a brief term in Congress, he lost his re-election bid. At 41, his 4-year-old son died. At 42, he was rejected as a prospective land officer. At 45, he ran for the Senate and lost. At 47, he lost the vice presidential nomination. At 49, he ran again for Senate and lost again. So you get the picture, and you already know that what came next. He went on to become one of our nation's greatest presidents in history. He led our country through its darkest days during the Civil War, and he left a legacy unparalleled in history. And even 1 or 2 of these setbacks would have been enough to discourage and actually derail some people. However, Lincoln refused to see failure as a reason to stop trying. Be persistent. You are already beginning your chosen profession journey with a degree from one of the world's top dental schools. That is both an achievement and a powerful credential that will open many, many doors for you. But there are still goals in front of you, and that these goals you may not attain on the first try. There are still challenges in front of you that sometimes may seem insurmountable. And when it gets tough, and I promise you that it will, and when you start to believe that you will never be able to rise up from defeat, and I promise you, you will, always remember that life can be summed up in 3 words. It goes on. There will be many times where you will fail, possibly. You will face overwhelming obstacles. Most of you already have, and look where it got you. Here you are today, a success, despite all of the trials and tribulations you have faced. Persistence is a simple strategy, but not an easy one. Make it part of your approach to life, and you will come out ahead, I promise. My last piece of advice is to be grateful. And at this moment, the feeling of gratitude in this room is palpable. You, our graduates, are grateful that you have successfully earned your degree and a world-class education. You are grateful to your teachers, your parents, and everyone who helped you every step of the way. You are grateful and excited to be moving on to your next chapter. You may also be grateful that I'm nearing the end of my speech, right? But the busyness and stresses of everyday life can make us forget to be grateful. The daily grind can make us complacent. Fight against that. Fight against that. A sense of gratitude helps foster greater happiness. It improves our health, relationships, and effectiveness. That's not just an anecdote. It is backed up by studies in the field of psychology. But for me, the most convincing evidence of gratitude's power comes from the people who I meet every single day. I've met thousands of extraordinary people in my lifetime. Most of them are people who live in my 57th Senate District. And what I have found, without exception, is that the happiest people, those who are a blessing to others, who are optimistic even in the face of difficulty, who serve their communities tirelessly, and who live the longest, fullest lives, are those who are grateful. I can give you an example. My friend Deb Quinn of Wellsville is one. In 2009, Deb was diagnosed with ALS, also known as Lou Gehrig's disease. And she knew exactly what that diagnosis meant. Deb grew up watching an aunt and a grandmother suffer from ALS and later discovered that more than 20 of her father's ancestors had ALS dating back to the early 17th century. When she lost her younger sister Rhonda to the disease in 2007, Deb decided that she didn't want others to have the same experiences with ALS that her sister had, and she began working with the ALS Association's upstate New York chapter in alerting others about ALS. Since her diagnosis, Deb has become a tireless advocate in raising awareness regarding ALS, and she's educating the public across New York State and the country. In 2011, I was very proud to present Deb with the New York State Senate Liberty Medal in recognition of her courage and commitment. Deb never dwells on what she can't do because of this disease, but instead focuses her energies on a new calling, communicating about her illness and bringing awareness and greater attention to it. Deb has helped so many with ALS and continues to fight for a cure. She remains grateful for every day and treats every day as an opportunity to help others. She truly is an inspiration and a heroine. So, graduates, today is your day. But do not worry. There will be a time to dream, to think, to try, to fail, to learn, to carry on, to make a difference. You leave a world-class school today and prepare for your next exciting chapter. What that story will be is up to you. But be of service, be persistent, be grateful, and live life to the fullest. You are off to a spectacular start. I wish you the best of luck, and I hope you know how honored I am to have been asked to speak on this very important day. God bless each and every one of you, and I wish you much, 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 much success in your lives. Thank you.
Thank you, Senator Young, and thank you very much for your service to our school and to the state of New York. Dean Zambon, would you please come forward to present the faculty awards? And a new one just arrived.
Thank you. The Richard Powell Award is presented to a faculty member who, in the considered judgment of faculty and students, is an outstanding dental educator. The recipient demonstrates superior knowledge of a particular discipline, in this case, anatomy, is able to communicate effectively, and conveys compassion for his students. The awardee appreciates differences in individual students and works with each to realize his or her full potential. Would Dr. Charles Severin please join me at the podium? Dr. Severin, I'm honored to present you the Richard Powell Award, as you have clearly met the criteria for this recognition. The Lapani Award is presented to a faculty or staff member to recognize outstanding contribution to the school, the faculty, and to the profession. Would Stephen Colombo please join me at the podium? Steve, I'm honored to present you with the Lapani Award in recognition of your excellent service to the school. Congratulations. The Dean's Award, which has just arrived, is presented to a member of the faculty, staff, student body, or community who has made a positive professional impact on a greater than local or regional level. Would Dr. Pam Jones please join me at the podium? Dr. Jones, I am pleased to present you with this small token of our appreciation for all of your efforts, the Dean's Award, and honor of your excellent service to our school. Thank you.
Would President Tripathi please step forward for conferral of the Doctor of Dental Surgery degree? Will the candidates for the Doctor of Dental Surgery degree please rise?
President Tripathi, on behalf of the faculty of the University at Buffalo School of Dental Medicine, I am honored to present these candidates. They have met all the requirements of the university and are recommended to you by the faculty for the degree Doctor of Dental Surgery.
By the authority of the trustees and the Chancellor of the State University of New York and the Council and the faculty of the University at Buffalo, I now confer upon each of you the degree Doctor of Dental Surgery with all the rights and privileges thereto pertaining. Congratulations.
The Doctor of Dental Surgery candidates can now be seated. Will the candidates for the Master of Science degree please rise?
President Tripathi, on behalf of the graduate faculty, I am honored to present these candidates. They have met all the requirements of the university and are recommended to you by the faculty for the master's degree.
On behalf of the Chancellor and the trustees of the State University of New York and the Council and the graduate faculty of the University at Buffalo, I hereby confer upon each of you the Master of Science degree. Congratulations.
The master's degree candidates may now be seated. Will the candidates for the Certificate in Advanced Dental Education please rise?
President Tripathi, on behalf of the faculty, I am honored to present these candidates. They have met all the requirements of the university and are recommended to you by the faculty for the Certificate of Advanced Dental Education.
On behalf of the Chancellor and the trustees of the State University of New York and the Council and the graduate faculty of the University at Buffalo, I hereby award each of you the Advanced Dental Education Certificate. Congratulations.
The Certificate of Advanced Education candidates may now be seated. I'd like now to introduce our reader today, Ms. Casey Reedy, who will be announcing our candidates for graduation. Will the Doctor of Dental Surgery candidates please rise and come forward? Will Dean Zambon join me at the podium for hooding of the Doctor of Dental Surgery degree candidates? Will President Tripathi, Dr. Batista, Dr. Mokaida join me in the presentation party in the congratulatory line?
Good evening. We begin with the candidates for the degree of Doctor of Dental Surgery.